Hello. So today we're going to be talking about your next level is hidden behind what you're avoiding. So we're going to be talking about what you are doing that's holding you back from getting to the next level that you want to get to. So if you feel like you're doing all of the stuff and you feel like you're doing as much as you can where you can, but you just don't seem to be getting there, perhaps you're just feeling like a little bit stuck and you want to take it to that next level, then lock in. I want you to think about this. What is one thing that you've been avoiding lately? We all do it. I'm definitely guilty of doing it. Those things that you don't want to do that you keep brushing off and you think, you know what, I'll do it another day. We're all guilty of it. So, what's one thing that you've been avoiding lately? Is it perhaps you've been avoiding tracking your calories properly? Maybe you're doing them as a tick in the box exercise because you're tracking your calories. But are you tracking all of your calories? Are you tracking your butters, your oils? Are you tracking the few handfuls of buttons that you eat as you open the fridge door? Are you tracking all of it? Or are you just tracking the things you think are the main things? Have you been avoiding perhaps scheduling your time to do your workouts? Have you been avoiding going into the gym to getting them done? Perhaps you've been avoiding taking your progress pictures or you're doing your metrics because maybe you don't want to actually know or see those progress pictures because you don't like what they look at. Perhaps you've been avoiding planning your meals because you find it too timely, yet you know that actually that's the thing that you need to do to help you stay on track during your working day, in the evenings after you've had a busy day. And perhaps you're avoiding asking for help. Perhaps you know you need help, but you're just not asking for the help that you need. You're sitting there quietly, or perhaps you are saying you're okay, but you're really not. You need help. Perhaps you've fallen off track and you keep waiting for that next Monday for you to try and get back on track again. We all do it. Like I say, I'm definitely guilty of it. And it's not necessarily a laziness. It's like as humans, we're built to protect ourselves. We don't like putting ourselves in a position where we feel uncomfortable. We feel like we might fail. We feel embarrassed. We don't like the uncertainty of the unknown. And for a lot of the time, if you're on your fat loss journey or building muscles, that is often an area of the unknown. So that uncertainty can make you feel on edge. And it's the change. We don't always like and feel comfortable with change. But the problem is that us staying in our comfort zone, it's only going to keep you where you are. It's not going to take you to the next level because stepping out your comfort zone is where the growth is going to happen. So what is the cost of this avoidance? Avoiding something that temporarily gives you relief. So by that, when we are avoiding doing, let's say, our measurements or avoiding doing those photos, momentarily you think, do you know what? That's okay, I don't have to look at them. But first of all, that's going to sit on your mind and it's going to niggle at you. But next of all, it's going to keep that same version of you as you currently are in control. If you want to elevate yourself to be that version of you, that next version of you, that you want to become, you've got to make those changes and you've got to put yourself in uncomfortable positions because that's where you're going to grow. So sometimes people are putting obstacles in their way, saying things like, I don't have the time today. I've had a really busy week at work. I've had a lot going on. I've messed up now. I went out for work lunch or I've gone out for a few drinks. And do you know what? I'll leave it off the weekend and I'll start again on Monday. I'll wait till life calms down a bit because it's a bit hectic in the minute. Those are things often as well, obstacles that we're putting in our way that when we could actually navigate them, we can break them down, work together, and try and get through those. This is about an identity shift, and I've spoken about this previously. Um, the goal isn't just losing weight. Yeah, you might want to get into an old pair of jeans. Perhaps you want to lose, there's a number on scale that you want to get to. Perhaps there's a clothing size you want to get to. But the goal isn't just about losing weight. The goal is becoming somebody who exercises even when they're busy. The goal is somebody that feels in control of their health, their fitness, somebody that plans ahead and is organized with how they're going to get there and on feeling on top of things. So you feel really good about yourself. It's somebody that keeps their promise to themselves to help them build that consistency and isn't just going to quit after one bad day. You're going to prioritize yourself without feeling that guilt. And then from those habits, building that identity, becoming that person, weight loss then just becomes the byproduct of that. Building strength, getting fitter, stronger, healthier is the byproduct of doing those actions. So the identity is what comes first. So imagine there are two versions of you. You've got version A and version B. Version A, meal preps, avoids meal prepping, avoids tracking their food, avoids difficult workouts. They don't want to push themselves too much with the weights. They avoid doing their extra steps. They're quite comfortable with how many steps they're doing. And they avoid doing their tracking of their metrics and tracking of their progress pictures. Version B doesn't want to do any of those things either, but they do them anyway. Who do you think gets the results in 6 months from now? It's obviously version B, right? You've got to do the things that you don't want to do. Nobody wants to stand there and take progress pictures because you know what? They're not really that nice to do, are they? Don't like it's not something fun. But when you can compare version A with version B, you're onto a winner. Like it's really nice that feeling of being able to compare those two. Every level that you get to is going to have something else that you're going to want to avoid doing, something else that's going to push you out your comfort zone. When you first started this journey, you probably avoided walking into the gym. You probably avoided picking up weights. Maybe you felt uncomfortable. You didn't know what weights to use. Maybe you avoided going into the gym because you'd go to a class because, oh, gym's a bit scary. Perhaps you didn't know what workouts to do at home, so you just didn't do them. Perhaps you didn't track your calories. You knew you might have, like, it would be helpful, but you didn't do them because it was just a bit time consuming and it's just not that fun. Perhaps you avoided stepping on scales or looking in the mirror altogether. But maybe now you might have overcome those things, and now you might be avoiding increasing the weights that you're using because that's going to give you physical discomfort when you're doing your reps. It's going to make your legs burn a bit more. Perhaps you're avoiding being consistent at the weekends. You know it's something you need to do for you to get to that next level, but you just can't do it. You just can't seem to stay on track over the weekends. Perhaps you're tracking Monday to Thursday is really good, and maybe Friday, and then come Saturday and Sunday, you don't really want to know what you've eaten, and you don't really know what you've drunk, so you don't track them, or you only track your breakfast and lunch, and then you forget about the extra drinks and food you've had in the evening. You've got to overcome those barriers. It's better that we have all of the data and all the information so we can assess how to get you to that next level and manage these things around the lifestyle that you want to lead. And sometimes for some people, it might actually be a matter of you accepting that you need a deload week to step back, to give your body a little bit of a break, to give your muscles a bit of a break. It's about taking recovery seriously because I see some of you in your deload week still pushing through. I'm guilty for it, 100%. I hate deload weeks because I feel like I should be doing more. But they're so important. It's really important to take a step back and let your body rest and recover. Because when you grow, every version of you that you become, every time you grow, it's going to ask something new of you. It's going to pull up new challenges. It's going to pull up more discomfort. And it's about us growing, us pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, how we become those better versions of ourselves. Your future self, your future version that you want to become, isn't going to be more motivated. I tell you that. Like, I have been so into exercise now for years and years and years and years. Do I feel motivated all the time? No. I would say I feel motivated to go out and do my workout maybe 40% of the week, 30% of the week. Maybe on the good days. Maybe some weeks not at all. But the version that you're trying to become, you will learn to make yourself become more disciplined. You will it'll become part of your routine, it'll become part of your structure and your schedule. So you don't need that motivation. your future version isn't necessarily going to be less busy or more confident. It's going to be a matter of that future version has learned how to schedule their time and structure their time. That future version of you has learned that you need to sometimes put your blinks on when you go into the gym. You just got to walk past those people that you feel are looking at you, but they're not. So your future self is always going to have these barriers and these boundaries as well, but each one is going to be different, and you're just going to have to hurdle over them because every time we push ourselves out of our comfort zone, we become more and more, and we grow more and more. So the small actions that you take are going to be what builds your identity of this person that you're looking to become. Every small action you get, whether it's like one workout, whether it's doing like having an extra bit of protein in your meal, making sure that you're hitting your protein target every day, making sure that you're taking one evening walk a week when your step counts are a little bit lower, perhaps. Maybe it's planning that one meal a day, maybe that one lunch a day. So you know that you're on track with your protein for those trickier meals. Perhaps it's you saying, do you know what? I need to have an earlier night tonight. I need to have a rest. Doing that one night. You're proving to yourself by taking, like doing these things, you're proving to yourself that you are able to look after yourself. You're proving to yourself that it's okay to put yourself first and to take care of yourself. And that is so important. So what I want you guys to do is write down things. You have to be really honest with this, really, really honest with this. Write down, what am I avoiding? Why am I avoiding it? And what story am I telling myself? And by that, I mean, are you being honest with yourself? When you say you don't have time, is it that you don't have time? Or is the real thing perhaps that you actually haven't scheduled your week and you haven't planned in your workouts and they've become non-negotiable because you've not been prioritizing them, you've been pushing something else ahead of them? So it's about asking yourself what you're avoiding, why you're avoiding it, and is that the honest story, or are there things that we can put in place to make these actions actually happen? Like, let's say you write them all down. Let me know what they are, and if you are struggling to build a plan of how to overcome them and how to fix them, talk to me. I'm here as a resource for you to use. And for me, I can help you get through these and we can put a plan in place to take you to the next level. You've got to challenge yourself. You need to be asking yourself, are you being honest? Is this true? Or are you simply sticking in your comfort zone and not pushing yourself into the discomfort? So sometimes as well, it's about talking to yourself in a little bit, reframing things in your mind, putting a more of a positive spin on these things. Instead of saying things like, I don't have time, being like, I haven't prioritized it yet, or I need more motivation. I need to make the next small decision. Instead of I've ruined the week, my next choice still counts. It's about using different language to adapt and change your behavior, because one brave action can change so much. And a lot of the time, all these things that we're putting off, actually, do you know what? They're not half as bad as you think they are. We just get this mental block and we just don't want to do them because we think it's scary. We think it's going to be uncomfortable because it's new. It's change. It's different. You don't need to change everything. Choose one thing and work on that first. Whether that be tracking your breakfast, whether that be tracking one out of the 7 days a week if you're not currently tracking, whether that be scheduling a few workouts, 3 workouts a week and making them non-negotiable, telling everybody that you've got to do them. If you need my help having a kick up bomb to get them done, let me know. I will message you before your workout is due to get done. I will help you sit down and schedule your week. Whether it's like you going into the gym and you say, do you know what, with this set, I'm going to lift a heavier weight. I'm going to make sure that I'm lifting heavy weight without sacrificing my form. And do you know what? That is going to burn. That is going to burn. But it will step you in the right direction. So it's all of these little small actions repeated that are going to take you to the next level. And remember this, the life you want, the confidence you want, the energy you want, the body you want, the woman that you want to become, is often hiding behind you having a conversation, you being honest with yourself, you taking action on the things that you don't really want to do. Because you've got to get over those little barriers and those little boundaries to step to the next level. So this week, I give you one challenge. Try this. Do one thing every day that your current self would normally avoid. Don't do the easy thing. Don't pick it because it's easy. Pick the harder thing. It's going to make you more nervous. It's going to push you out of your comfort zone because that is where growth lives. That is where the growth happens, and that's what's going to take you to that next level. And then on this week's check-in, I want you to ask yourself and put in the information. What did I stop avoiding? What did I stop avoiding? And how has that made me feel? Because I guarantee you, once you have done this thing that you're putting off, it's not going to feel half as bad as you think it is. And also, it's going to make you feel so much better for doing it. And it will take you to that next level. So get that challenge done, give it a try this week. And as always, if you have any questions, please use me as a resource. I'm here to help you guys. And if you ever have any questions or you need any additional help, put your hand up, let me know. I'm always here to help you take yourself to the next level.